Thank you, Madam President. I rise tonight for my last speech in here to talk about a former member of this House and a dear friend of mine, Chrissy Sharp. Chrissy is currently fighting for her life, as she has been fighting for the forest for so many years. I knew she was unwell late last year. She'd had surgery and thought there was an infection. And I was sitting in this chamber when I got a text from her saying that she's just had major emergency surgery to remove a tumor obstructing her intestines. And I responded in my naive optimism, "So you're on the mend now," not realizing the significance of what she had said, that she had cancer. Within a week or so, she was told she had about 2 months to go. And she went to find a second opinion and a third opinion, and they came around to the idea that with significant aggressive treatment, she had a chance of extending her life. So she has currently undergone 2 rounds of chemo, and she got some results back saying that it looked better, no active cancer cells. And then not long after that, she had a bit of a respite. She was told maybe we should do another round just in case, and she said, "Look, I just can't do it." As many of you would know, anybody who's gone through 2 rounds of chemo, you're not feeling too well after it. And then it all fell apart. Things were not going so well. The doctor did convince her and her family that she really should have chemo, but it's turned out it's a kidney issue, and they're treating that now. Now, I haven't really had an update for about a little less than a week. And all I can say now is, and for those of you who know her, who have heard others speak of her, she could use all the love and best wishes and kindness and prayers and anything you can send, because that's what's working for her. She's got so many friends there, and they're all doing everything they can to keep her going. And I have to say, too, the thing that kept her going from the start, too, or what she told me, and at this time it could be very difficult, but she's writing a book on our Southwest forests. And she's not prepared to give up on that yet. She has a lot more to say, and I really hope she has the chance to do that. But also, as I'm here now, and I would like to speak about Chrissy. She's, as I said, a very dear friend and my #1 supporter. I've learned so much from her. She's been working to protect our Southwest forests since the 70s. She did a PhD on politics and ethics early on, or back in the 70s at Murdoch. And with her husband, Andrew, they established a small tree farm in Balingup, where they grow trees and sell them across the state, possibly even interstate, to so many people for revegetation projects, for plantations, for their homes, whatever it is. And it's been going quite well. She also co-founded the Golden Valley Tree Park. Now, if you ever get down south and you get through Balingup, if you have an interest in trees, the Golden Valley Tree Park, it's based on an old homestead area, and it has trees from around the world. It's got its eucalypt area too. But right now, particularly if anybody gets the chance, it's as those autumn leaves are turning, and there are some beautiful photos I've seen recently. Actually, I went there because her friends put together a mandala for her to help spread some good tidings towards her, but it's a good thing to see. She's also been on the local government of the Donnybrook-Balingup Council. She began with the Greens back in '89 when we got together, was working on the campaign for Louise Duxbury, who was running for the seat at that time. She's been on the EPA board. She was a member there from 1989 to 93, and then ran for the Southwest electorate in '96 and was elected and started in '97. And stayed with us for 2 terms. During that time, I believe she's told me that she was, when she was the chair for the Standing Committee for Ecologically Sustainable Development in her first term, she was the first female chair for a standing committee. She also then, I believe, may have been involved in the establishment of the Committee on Environment and Public Affairs and chaired that from 2001 to 2005. Now, it was only at that time that I met Chrissy, was coming up around the time she was going to be leaving here. And I regret not having got to know her better sooner, but it wasn't really until 2016-17 when I was running for this seat, and we knew each other well enough that she was just so delighted. She said, "Let's have your launch at my home in Balingup," and it was there that I met one of my future staff members. It was there where I've met one of our recent candidates. And she just beamed when she looked at me, and I felt, if somebody like her can think that well of me, I must be doing pretty well. But over that time, she tried to pour all her information into me about forests. And I tried to add that with other things I could find, but you know, her depth of knowledge there is just enormous, just unbelievable. So in 2018, she had the Joint Environmental Volunteer of the Year. She worked with FPC on the Jarlma Plan with a few other people on their independent panel and put that together, because her aim now, she sees the Jarrah forest dying. She sees it, you know, 2011 when we had the drought and we had massive die-offs of the Jarrah forest. Now, some of that's come back, but she's seen that and she's watched that and she's looking at the research on it, and it shows that, you know, the water table has dropped up to 18 meters in some of that area. It shows that, of course, our rainfall has fallen in that area. We know that Alcoa is clearing it as quickly as they can to get the bauxite out of it. But I'd just like to read a bit from a submission. So she's still so active in this space, and I just hope that we have her around for years to come to continue and to mentor me and others to be in this space. But she wrote a submission to the Environmental Protection Act just last year, the amendment bill that we put forward, that had been put forward. And in there she's talking about ecological thinning, because she's seen these Jarrah forests. She knows that in the 1930s, the government realized that the forests were coming back too thick because Jarrah did not self-thin. And she found that in the 1930s, one of the work programs to get people back to work, 10,000 men were hired to go into the forest to thin the forest by hand, to make it a healthy forest once again. They understood ecological thinning back then, whereas now, we understand it. You know, there's an understanding. She's still trying to describe it to DBCA staff so that they know what it is. We're still trying to describe it to environmentalists so that they understand. But the difficulty we face is the trust. There just doesn't seem to be the trust within the industry, within the environmental movement, within government, to actually work out what we can do and then do it and save that forest. So I guess all I ask is that you think as much good thoughts, send her your prayers, your love, whatever. We need to keep her with us, because she was there in the 2001 to 2005 Gallup-led government when old-growth forests were protected, and she was working on, you know, the high conservation value forests then as well. And that was a wonderful step. That was fantastic to be able to set aside some of those forests. But right now, our forests are still dying. They're still decreasing. I read only in the news today that in the last 20 years, that's right, it was a good news story. It started out in the last 20 years, an area the size of France has come back, has been regenerated in native forests around the world. An area the size of France, isn't that great, over the last 20 years? But then it went on to say that 7 times that amount has been cleared in that same time. An area the size of the UK was cleared last year. Now that area the size of the UK, looks to me it's about the same size as the Southwest and the wheat belt combined. Now, West Australia, we're doing our bit to continue that massive clearing. We see it happening all the time, and we're not taking responsibility for it. And I guess I just ask that, you know, knowing the work that Chrissy and so many others have put in, knowing the science that's coming back showing us what we're doing, let's, you know, I don't want to say, I just try to say, let's do this for Chrissy, but because I'd rather have Chrissy. I need her. But we need the forests as well. And yeah, thanks for listening. Send her your love, your prayers. We need to keep her around so she can finish that book.
I just want to make a comment on the speech just given by the Honourable Diane Evers. There are some of us still in this chamber that worked with the Honourable Chrissy Sharp during 2001 to 2005. That was my first term in this place, and she was the chair of the Environment and Public Affairs Committee that I was on. And I will say that I have enormous respect for her work ethic and her commitment to the issues that she is passionate about. And it is quite devastating to hear tonight, and I'm sure shared by other members that have known her, that she is having to deal with such difficulties with this illness. And we certainly, and I'll say on behalf of the members in this chamber, that I would ask that you please pass our best wishes back to her, and hope that things will be on the up and up for her. So our prayers and our thoughts are indeed with her. The Honourable Simon O'Brien.
Just briefly, I was also here in 2001 and beyond when the Honourable Chrissy Sharp joined us, and I was shocked to hear what we've just heard from our colleague, that she's having to work through a very difficult time in her life and that she's got some real challenges that she's confronting. On behalf of the opposition and on the Liberal Party, I hope that the honourable member will convey to Chrissy our reassurance that we know that she is a strong person and will confront the issues that she's currently confronting with the courage that she's always exhibited in the past. And if she's open to further encouragement, that she does so with our sincere best wishes and compliments at heart.
Are there any further member statements? House is adjourned.